My name is Benjamin Sanchez. I have several hats here. I'm in the strategic working group on agroecology of SCA, and this is why I was invited to come here. And I'm also the national country contact point for this particular strategic working group. And as you know, we are developing the partnership on the concept and the SRIA, the Scientific Research and Innovation Agenda of this partnership. I am a researcher. I'm a strange kind of researcher, but I'm a researcher. That I work for a research center in Spain, dealing with agriculture and forestry. And also, I've been very recently hired by the Spanish funding agency for research and innovation in regards to the partnership. So my position has been always very neutral, but with this new set, then this kind of impartiality is granted. Well, the partnership has first of all has a very broad, holistic view. So it's on how we can accelerate the transition based on putting at the center two kinds of instruments that are very relevant. One of them is the living labs plus the research infrastructures, which are at the center just to accelerate the knowledge and the sharing of the knowledge and the uptake of this knowledge in the actual field. Another thing that is very important is it has a very territorial bias, to say so. So it's not really conceptual. It's more how to build the transition, the agroecological transition within the territory. And what we have done so far is, first of all, to bring the concept of the partnership. Plus, now we are developing the scientific and innovation agenda, of research and innovation agenda of the partnership. And of course, we are now entering in a new field, which is how the partnership is, the governance, the funding, and all these schemes that it has because the partnership has to be prepared by the end of this year, and then it will be a reality in the sense that there will be the governance and everything established by early 2024, when it will probably be in place. And then, of course, once we have it, then we will having the calls to do the actual work that has to be performed. Well, we are having these two challenges, big challenges. One of them is how we deal with the diversity of territories that we got in Europe in regards to climatic conditions by themselves, but also how we are going to merge the different territories in the way in which they are developing the transition. So since they got different starting points, it's also a challenge for the partnership to bring all these things together. Of course, one could learn from the other, but since even the culture within each territory is so important, you may have the same climatic condition and everything, but because of the heritage you go behind, maybe there are more barriers in one territories than others, and this is something that we have to deal with in the partnership. In case we got 7 years, 7 years of funding, but it can be more years because we can have the last call of the 7 year. That means that the impact of the partnership would last a little bit more. And of course, as we said before, the important thing is also is having in place all the governance and we will learn. I mean, basically, I'm sure that from the very beginning we are going to learn how to address all these challenges by doing things, because we don't have I'm sure that we don't have the map of how we are going to do things right now, and after 2 or 3 years we will need a kind of reevaluation of ourselves and the targets, and that's why there is one core theme on that deals basically on metrics, on the metrics of the transition and the metrics of the living labs. but also we need metrics for what we would be saying that it would be a success of the partnership as well. In this regard, I think that the Agroecology for Europe has been one of the is recognized from the very beginning as a key advisor of the strategic working group on agroecology, and it has played a major role in the conceptualization, plus also in the research needs and identifying the barriers. I mentioned before that the kind of 150 people have been working already in developing all these concepts and identifying the research needs, and in several task forces, and of course, Agroecology for Europe has been crucial for this kind of thing. And I'm as the colleague of one of those task forces, I'm very grateful, because not only for the contribution that were very high, or a very high level, but even the atmosphere these people created, these experts created within the group, that contributed a lot to create such an atmosphere in which we could participate very easily. So even that was also an intangible, but this also was very much appreciated by SCA, our Agroecology. Well, for me, after having coffee, I would say it's a strong coffee.